Good afternoon and welcome to Customer Effects Training Webinars. My name is Dale Richter and today we're going to be talking about doing a lead import in the SalesLogix web client. There is an import wizard within the web client that allows us to import directly into leads and allows us to match on duplicates. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'm going to switch over to my web client and we'll get started. Hold on just a second. Okay, so here we are, and I want to open up, I have opened up my web client, and I'm going to go directly to my leads here. So now in order to do our import within the web client, if we just go up to our tools menu up on the top here, we have a couple options here, import leads and import history. In this webinar, I'm just going to be talking about the import leads. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the import leads. Here it gives us a 7-step process down the left-hand side here. The first thing we need to do is select a file. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Browse here to select a file. And out on my desktop, I'm going to go and find my file called Lead Import 1, and it's a CSV file. Just click on Open there. Now just below that it says current lead file list. Just leave that empty right now. Actually, this path will end up down in the lead file list once we go through our wizard here. So I'll come back and show you that in a couple minutes. Now we also have a default owner. So as you import these leads, do you want them to belong to a specific team or to everyone or to a specific user? So we could either choose user, team of individuals, or under the system we could choose everyone or everyone view only. We're just going to leave it set at everyone here. And then we have a default lead source. So if this is a list we purchased or from a trade show, we can go in and choose from our existing lead sources here. And I'm just going to choose purchased list. Now, the next thing we have here is we can add the imported leads to an ad hoc group. We could create a new ad hoc group, and we can go ahead and name that leads purchased in April 2010. Or we could add it to an existing ad hoc group if we had any ad hoc groups out there. So I'm going to name that group leads purchased in April of 2010. I'm going to go ahead and click on Next. You'll see it brings me to step 2 here, where we define our delimiters. Right now, as we look at the data, it looks pretty good, and you can see if I switch to like semicolon here, the data looks bad. So as long as the data looks good with the delimiter that's already chosen, that's the main thing. You just want to make sure that your data looks proper here. And I'm just going to scroll over here and click on Next again. Okay, when I go to Next, it allows us to choose a map template. If we had done this before and actually saved the template, we'll see down in the bottom here, we'll save our template once it's done. Now it went ahead for us and it already mapped 8 of the 10 fields. So it says here 8 of the 10 fields are already matched. So it was able to match on the fields because they matched exactly to what was in the spreadsheet. So one thing I'd recommend when you do set up your CSV file or your Excel file, that you try to match the headings or the field names with the field names in SalesLogix. This is going to make it much easier to import. Now, the 2 fields it did not map is the unique identifier. So I have a unique identifier in every file that I import. If I choose to import that, which I wouldn't have to, but I'm going to import it, I'm just going to click on Show All Fields here, and then I'm going to scroll down and find my user field 1 and match it to that. So I'm just going to import it into user field 1 just in case I need that unique identifier for some reason. Now the other one it did not match is the street address. So if I highlight street address here, I'm going to put that into address line 1 in the address table. So address dot address line 1 is the address table and the address 1 field. And I'll match that. So now we've mapped all of the fields. If I want to save that as an import template, I can go ahead and click on Save as Import Template down in the bottom of the screen here. And I'm going to call this my monthly list import. And save it. You notice that puts that up in the name of the template up in the top there, and that would be available if we ever came in to do an import again. So now on the bottom of the screen, I'm going to scroll down, find my next button, go ahead and click on Next. It brings us to our number 4, Managing Duplicates. So here, if we know there's no duplicates, we would not have to check for duplicates, and we could just uncheck that box. I am going to check for duplicates here, and I'm going to check in both the contact table and the lead table. I'm going to look at both the first name, the last name, and the city. So, and then down at the bottom it says, do you want to automatically merge the duplicate records? And if you do, which one wins? I'm going to say that the import record wins here. We could go into the advanced mapping options. In here, it would look at stemming, searches other grammatical forms of the word, use phonetics, find words that sound similar, finding synonyms, or using fuzzy logic. And using the fuzzy logic here, it determines down the bottom here, the asterisk, it says determine number of characters that can differ. So if it's misspelled or something. And we've just got that set on 2. So now I can run a test also to see how many are going to be duplicates if I run test here. It shows me the lead search. There's 70 potential matches. It didn't find any. So I'm going to click on OK there, click on Next again. Selecting the import actions. So here, and this is different than the other import wizard, we can actually add a note, add a campaign response, add it as a campaign target to an existing campaign. We could schedule a phone call for these leads. Now if I go into schedule phone call, I can just choose what it's regarding, discuss opportunities. I can set a priority on it, choose a category, and then put a note in here. Please follow up on these new leads in the database. And maybe put a date here. And save that. So now for every lead imported, it's going to create a new phone call. I'm going to click on Next again. And we can review where it's going to. The default owner is going to be everyone. It's a purchase list as the default lead source. Are we going to add it to a lead group? No. Are we going to check for duplicates? Yes. And we're going to schedule a phone call. So as long as we're okay with all that information, we could click on Submit. If not, if we wanted to add it to a group here, I could just go back and back again. I could choose to add it with that checkbox there, so I had forgot to check that checkbox, and then we just go Next to get all the way through our wizard again to get to the last screen where we actually do our import. And now I can go ahead and click on Submit and actually run our import. So here we see that it's importing leads. We're at 6% there. There's no warnings, no duplicates. Remember, this is importing directly into leads and not into contacts. Contacts is an entirely different wizard to use that is not in the interface itself. So this webinar has been about importing leads into the SalesLogix web client. I want to thank you all for joining me this afternoon, and have a great day.